Pastor Mark here at Brantford Church of the Nazarene, and thanks for joining me. I've just been in my office here doing some studying and some preparation for Sunday, and I thought I'd take a break. So as we've been promoting for the last week, we're going to start a new feature called Take a Break with Pastor Mark. I'm going to go outside for my break, so I invite you to join me. I'm just going to turn the camera around so you can walk out with me. Then I'll come back to my face, and it's going to be a time where I spend answering questions for you. So let's join me outside, if you will. So as I'm walking outside to where I'm going to be by the Painted Rocks Garden, we share some space on our property with Brantford Painted Rocks. It's a nice, beautiful rock garden, a nice, relaxing place to be, and there's all sorts of inspirational rocks that have been painted that are in that garden that you just see right in front of you. And there's a bench there that I'm going to go sit on. And this feature that we've set up for this time is where people send me questions and about the Bible and about the Christian faith, and I'm going to try and answer those questions. Usually just a question a week I'm going to do. I'll be sitting here, and we'll have the garden right here. So I'll be asking these questions, and if you have questions about the Bible or about the Christian faith, you can email me, or you can send me a Facebook private message, and I'll try to answer those questions as best as I can. So today's question is this, it has come to me, is this: if God is so good, why does he allow so much evil in the world? If God is so good, how come there's so much evil in the world, and how come he doesn't stop it if he's so powerful? That's a pretty loaded question, and there's a number of questions that could get attached to that, but there's four things that I think of when I think of God being so good, but why doesn't he stop? Or if he's so loving, why doesn't he stop all the evil that's going on? And we don't have to go far to look at the evil around. We just see the news over the last month or so about these unmarked graves that are being found at the residential schools. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we see. We see natural disasters happening and all sorts of things. But there's four things I want to share with us. And I'm sure I could expand and do if you want, well, not if you want, but I could do a whole sermon series on why evil in the world and why doesn't God stop it. But I'm going to offer these four thoughts for us to contemplate today while I take a break. First of all, we need to remember we live in a fallen world. We live in a fallen world. Right as soon as Adam and Eve ate of that fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, this was a fallen world, and the world is broken. Now, we can take encouragement in that is we can be assured that God is going to bring us a new heaven and a new earth. So this fallen world isn't going to last forever. But the other thing that I think we need to remember is if God does stop all evil, it means he's basically taking his choice away from us. He's controlling us. All that can exist is good then. If there's no evil, there's only good. There's only one straight choice that he can have for us. And then it's not really a free choice that we live, it's a controlled life that we live. And he has called us into relationship with him. Not to be involved with him with in just a one-way relationship where he tells us and he controls us. We'd be like robots then, where we're just controlled, or remote control cars where you're just controlled. But he doesn't do that. The third thing that I want us to remember is that God often uses challenges, suffering, pain, illness, disasters, or anything like that. He can use those to call us to him. I think of the account in Luke chapter 11, where we find the account of, John chapter 11, where we find the account of a man named Lazarus has passed away, and his sisters Mary and Martha go to Jesus, and they say, my brother's dying, my brother's now dead, it's too late. But Jesus went. They took it right to the very end before they went to Jesus. And when they went, God often uses our suffering and our challenges to wait for us to go to the very end to come and meet him. But the final thing I want us to say is God can use the challenges, God can use the difficulties, God can use the suffering and the bad that's in this world to develop us as well. We know in the Bible from Romans chapter 5, the first 5 verses, where it says there that we suffer, we can suffer, but that suffering produces perseverance. The perseverance produces character, and the character produces hope. But we need to remember that as we go through that, our hope is not, I hope I get this gets better, which it will when Christ comes again. But our hope is in we have someone who we can trust in. We have Jesus Christ. So God is allowing these things to happen with the desire that we would draw closer to him. The same as Mary and Martha went to Jesus and said, can you help me? And that's putting it mildly. But can you help me? Then we have hope in Jesus. Well, that's just a brief thought about why there's suffering in the world. It's such a big, big topic that we could talk forever on it. And maybe I'll touch again on it in the coming weeks. But this is just a short time of what we're calling Take a Break with Pastor Mark. And I would invite you that if you have questions, that you would either private message me or email me and let me know those questions, and I'll try my best to answer them. We're going to answer them from a Christian perspective, as best we know how, with that, with answers, yes, from the Bible and as they apply to life today. Not as they might apply thousands of years ago, we might think, but as they apply to our life today. So thanks for joining me, and take care.